Holy, holy, holy. This was one of my favourite hymns when I was an 11-year-old choir boy. It sparked my imagining of what God must be like. I soon realised, of course, that I was trying to imagine the unimaginable. God, the Holy Trinity, was beyond my comprehension then, and still is. But what would happen if we started in a different place? When was it that you felt fully alive, fully human, fully yourself? Was it when you encountered the love of another human being? Not all relationships are always happy, of course, and some of us may have had bad experiences of other people. But that doesn't mean there aren't relationships which are good, life-affirming and life-giving. Maybe we've experienced something of that in a friend, a parent or sibling, in a lover, partner, husband or wife, when we've discovered that amazingly we're loved for who we are, warts and all, loved because we are loved. And we discover our ability to love and give freely and instinctively of ourselves to another. Such wholesome, generous love, of course, finds ultimate expression in what the modern marriage service calls the delights and tenderness of sexual union. Two people joined in body, heart and mind. Such completeness finds expression in other ways too. We all were made for relationship, and that should tell us something important about God, our Maker. There is a famous icon by the Russian painter Rublev of the three angels who visited Abraham at Mamre, which have been understood as figures of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The figure on the right represents the Holy Spirit. The blue robe speaks of divinity, and the green robe represents new life. The Spirit touches the table, earthing the divine life of God. Behind the figure is a mountain. Remember that mountains are places where heaven and earth seem to touch. Moses met God on mountains, and Jesus was transfigured whilst praying on a mountain. Notice that the head is inclined towards the figure on the left. In the centre is the figure of the Christ, wearing the blue of divinity, and the brown garment speaks of the earth, of his humanity. The gold stripe over his right shoulder speaks of kingship. He rests two fingers on the table, laying onto it his divine and his human nature. He points to a cup filled with wine. Notice that behind him is a tree. This could be the oak tree at Mamre under which the three angelic visitors rested, or it may represent the cross. Notice that the Christ figure also inclines towards the figure on the left, and we are drawn to gaze there too. There is the Father, a figure content and at rest. The blue garment of divinity is almost hidden by a shimmering, ethereal robe. The one who is creator, who cannot be seen by his human creatures. Both hands clasp the staff. All authority in heaven and on earth belongs to the Father. Behind the figure is a house, the dwelling place of God. For Jesus said that, "In my Father's house are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you." Now notice that the three figures can be enclosed in a circle, but they are not closed in upon themselves. There is an openness. They are turned towards us, we who are looking at the icon, drawing us into their relationship of love. Jesus said, "Those who love me will keep my word, and my Father will love them, and we will come to them and make our home with them." Imagine a new circle, but this time a three-dimensional one, travelling around behind the three figures of Father, Christ, Spirit, and coming forward, extending beyond the image, and behind us too, enfolding us in love. We are made out of love and for love, made in the image of God, who is love. Jesus told us to go to all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit. In other words, we're to draw all those whom we meet and everyone in the world, that they may come to know God and through baptism enter into the very life of God, become fully human and in time divine. I wonder, what does that tell you about how God sees you? What does that tell you of the love that God as Trinity has for you and for your neighbour? And how might we together show that love?